during the Pirate Clark video that she put together, I just said that she should do the Mary one. And she did do the Mary one. So are you ready to get some free therapy, boys? Let's go. Miss Georgia.
I say spoilers in the title card. I'm saying it again for those of you that skipped the title card at the beginning. If you haven't seen the movie or you hate spoilers, analysis of the movie probably is not the right idea of the video you should be clicking. But let's take a look at Dr. Mary Klein, a little bit of her psychology and what the Backrooms means to her.
We all have our loops, our habits.
I love this shirt, by the way.
Behaviors that keep us walking in circles, reaching for the same solutions over and over again, thinking each time they'll take you somewhere new, but they don't.
I think that a comment from one of my last videos is actually really apt. And they said that Dr. Mary Klein for a 1990s therapist is actually quite effective. And I think that that's accurate. What she's saying now is that neurons that fire together, wire together, and paths that we've gone over, we will often continue to repeat. We're pattern-oriented creatures, and so we often do things over and over again in the same way, but hope for a different end result. And that's the problem, is that we can sometimes become ingrained depending on our fears, our triggers, our blocks, things that have happened to us in the past.
Isn't like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? Isn't that like the literal definition of insanity?
Then we end up doing the same thing over and over again and hope for a different end result.
It's the neural pathway of least resistance.
Will happen. But she's right.
You made. It's the one that kept you safe when you were a child.
And that's what happens with maladaptive behaviors. Often something that we did to keep us safe or protected when we were young, something that perhaps we needed to do, becomes the same pathway that we try to implement as an adult. When we were a child, we needed them to survive. We needed them to be able to function in our family of origin. And so because of that, it becomes something that we've done lots of times. And when you've done something over and over again, you're actually training your brain to become better at that thing. It's almost like water going through a different ravine. It's gonna go through the easiest path. And especially when we're stressed or upset, we're gonna fall back on the things that take up the least amount of your brain's resources. Learning takes up more resources. Doing something
your brain is very lazy.
Takes up more resources than your brain than doing the thing that you've always done. And that's often why when we're stressed or upset, we'll go back to old habits that we had stopped doing because it takes less processing power in your brain. And that's why being aware, being conscious of things that you do often unconsciously can be so powerful, because that's how you can enact concrete, real change.
So
if you're ever like wondering like, why do I react that way when I come across XYZ stimuli? Like, you gotta like trace that back and figure out what's going on with it. Like, okay, like what is the emotion that you're feeling? Okay, what's the thing that brought it on? And try to like think back on it in order to figure out what the pattern is that you keep falling into.
Want to revisit an exercise we've done before, the role play?
Oh, no, the acting thing?
The acting thing?
I feel stupid doing that.
I had to say it again. It's so funny because they're actors. They're actors. And he's like, I don't want to do the acting thing. It makes me feel silly. I'm like, brother, you are an actor pretending to not like acting. I love it. It's always so funny.
No, but we have a few minutes. Let's try a little bit.
I love my comments from the videos because one is it helps me really reflect. So thank you to everyone that spends the time to be able to do that. But also I have so many really apt statements that come out. One was that for a 1990s therapist, Dr. Klein is actually quite effective and quite realistic to therapy of today. I think that she's more of a psychodynamic therapist, someone that deals with often your past and how your past enacts your behaviors and your patterns that you deal with. This is actually kind of like a little bit of a twist on a role play, like a Gestalt therapy, which would be an empty chair technique, which often you're taking part of a person that you have unresolved issues or feelings towards, and then you're often playing the other part. But in this is more of a role play where she's playing the part of Clark's wife. This can be really effective in helping you deal with unresolved emotions, or being able to empathize with what someone else did, or having a sense of closure or what you hope for in a situation. This would be really effective in times when you might have cycled through a situation or a pain and it's not getting resolved. Your brain is trying to figure out a solution. That's why we end up with cycling thoughts. The problem with not dealing with things and they come back over and over again is that you're going to end up repeating mistakes, or you're going to end up projecting your feelings
make the
towards
same
other
mistakes
people. And for Clark, he's angry, and he's angry for specific reasons that we need to go into so that we can hopefully help him come to a resolution with his feelings of anger and why he drinks.
Less of the sea.
Yeah, you gotta like you gotta like work on it, man. You can get better. Like, it is possible. You just have to be willing to sit down and put in the work. Like, being alive is just work. It's all work. It's work all the time. It's all work. You get up, that's work. You have to get dressed, that's work. You brush your teeth, that's work. You bathe, that's work. You feed yourself, that's work. You make sure you're getting enough water to drink, that's work. Being alive is just constant work. But like, exactly, like, that means you should be well practiced at it. You just gotta put it in. You just gotta put in the work, man. Come on, you can do it. You could have done it!
Let's go back to the night that Barbara
Just take some
left you.
accountability.
Whenever we do empty chair, one is I get people prepared way before the session so that they understand what it is. Often when we're going through this, especially when it's something that's unresolved or very sensitive to you, it can be really explosive. Sometimes you might not be able to go there and not be able to reach your feelings, especially for people that have repressed feelings or that have a hard time being able to confront them. That can be really scary for many people. But also, someone stated that's accurate is that you wouldn't do this at the end of a session. You don't want to open up a box that is dark or difficult, even if you've done it before, that you might not be able to close when there's only a few minutes left of session. This would be done when you have plenty of time left, because you don't want to suddenly cut someone off in the middle of a highly emotional state.
And then
so
send
I
him
think
home.
that she actually does a really good job. But this isn't just to critique, or I'm not being harsh on Dr. Mary Klein. I think that it's really important for people to understand that therapy would be done in a different way, and I want people that may want to go
You're
to
just
therapy
clarifying the, like,
or might
I
feel
feel like
unresolved.
I feel like you're just clarifying like what the real process is. You're like, this is like a real process that exists, but it's done a little bit more like this. I mean, like, movies and stuff like that aren't always the most accurate. Even ones that try to be super duper accurate normally has a little bit of fudging just to like fit it in there, you know, like the classic. But like, yeah, no, you're just clarifying.
To be able to understand the differences,
Yes,
because I think that therapy is sometimes portrayed in a light that is skewed to be able to carry a narrative to the story that is inaccurate to how we actually do it.
I can smell it on your breath.
I had a few beers.
Define a few.
Well, it was a hard day. I needed to wind down.
All you ever do is wind down. You're always at the store.
Now, as a therapist, you would be using this technique to deal with these unresolved feelings, but you would have a purpose to it. You're not just digging into any emotion to be able to have the person feel the emotion, but to be able to, in this case, it might be to be able to understand Barbara's situation. And perhaps in different role plays, she might have had him be Barbara and she be Clark. To be
Exactly. Like to have to, sorry. There you go. Much better freeze frame. You have to defend. Here's what I think she's gonna say. Basically, you to have to defend against your own arguments for something is a very good thought exercise, and it helps you be more open and unbiased in a situation. Like, look at your instinctual reaction and then be like, okay, now is this like justified, or is this an instinctual reaction that I'm having because I'm upset about the situation because of XYZ? And then making someone have to understand and the argument from the other side, it helps to put them like literally in their shoes. And then it helps them to think through their actions more, be like, oh, well, yeah, why did I do these things that made them upset? And, you know, and then like look back on it that way and try to see if you could work it out, you know?
to change the way that we behave, sometimes having empathy for the other person can be really helpful to be able to see things from a different perspective. Sometimes, especially when we're upset or hurt, we can only see things from our perspective. And that makes us less accurate in how we handle our world. Or it can end up making us so angry that everyone becomes a Barbara. Or every time that you feel hurt, you try to push people away because of that.
Yeah.
You want kids, right?
You take one bad experience and you just
We
like
both do.
compound upon it.
Having a family takes money, which means someone has to work.
And when you're doing this type of therapy, you would be watching someone else's body language, depending on what you're hoping to do. But you could see that from Clark's furrowing of his brows, it hurt him. And you want to be able to be aware of the things that trigger you. I often will have someone actually journal the things that trigger you, the things that wound you, the things that block you, so that you can start to become conscious, because someone else might make a offhand comment and you explode.
Yep.
Similar to this, because this is one of your wounds. These are one of the things that have hurt you in the past. And sometimes then you might go on your unconscious script and then wonder why no one is around you, why you've pushed everyone away, and you're unaware that unconsciously you might have done that to keep yourself safe, to be able to protect things, or because you felt hurt.
Just because you didn't get to be an architect doesn't
I am a
Oh,
f***ing architect.
there it is.
God damn it, I'm just stuck selling furniture because someone won't get up there fat and help me.
How do you feel, Clark?
How did you feel, I think, is really important, but to know your feelings, which for some people is really difficult. For Clark, it's really difficult.
Oh, yeah.
If he had more awareness of how he felt, but it's also, why did he do this? Why do you think you reacted with anger? And you can go into him understanding, him taking a look at all of the cogs that are in play in his own psychology. Often, similar to the Backrooms, a therapist is trying to be able to, as accurately as possible, see the world through someone else's eyes. But it's a facsimile. It's a
Well, you know, people who are like good therapists, at least.
copy of what we believe, depending on what the person shares with us. And that's why the therapeutic alliance is so vastly important. If you feel safe with someone else, you can let them into a more accurate version of yourself. If you haven't seen the Pirate Clark video, you should. But
You
when we
did.
go
I
into
did.
the psychology
That's
of
why I
Pirate
wanted
Clark,
to do
but
this
I
one.
think that that is what happens. We end up having our own pain, our own hurt, our own fear, end up eating into our world, our life, and ourselves.
Yep.
Our own sense of identity can often become clouded, that we just see ourselves as the bad guy. The thing that we are trying to run from ends up becoming the thing that we embrace, or that we think that other people will see. And if they see that they will
Thank you.
abandon us. And if you have a really good relationship with your therapist, you will understand that we all have our own Pirate Clarks within us, our own darkness, and that we
Yep.
need to acknowledge it, but then not have it be the defining factor in our life.
This is a good start.
My
to feel what
monster
you
in me.
feel, and then learn to identify a new path. Your reaction was actually quite normal.
And it is. It is quite normal to
Oh,
be
yeah,
able
to
to
itch
feel
a
angry,
pa-
especially
a
when you're
wound.
upset about something you did. Now, I might have also gone through, what do you wish that you had done? What would have been a better way to do that so that we can model different behaviors? But
yeah.
often
Fair,
when
fair,
you
fair,
are
fair.
really emotional, it is hard, if you have
Hard,
not
yeah,
practiced
it's hard.
doing something differently, to be able
That's
to
why,
actually
yep.
enact it.
That's why, like, if you're ever like in a situation where you're getting really, really mad, you just gotta like take a breath, calm down, and just step away. Just take a moment. Take a moment. If you're mad, don't do anything rash in the moment. Stop, go back, think it through, then return to it later. Don't do things in the heat of the moment.
Under stress.
Call 1-800-555-0199.
It's never too late to forge a new path.
Them both watching.
I just
this
think that it's
commercials
interesting
is
her
crazy.
watching her own video, and I really am intrigued by her own thoughts to that. I think that probably for Dr. Mary Klein, that she wants to be able to help more people not have to go through what she went through. And I think that her sending out tapes, just like me sending out my videos right now, is a wonderful way to be able to reach more people. Hopefully let them realize that there are other ways to do things. You don't have to be trapped.
You did it. You did it. You did it for me. That's why I really like trying to share you with people now, because like your content really helped me, and you know, I was able to like work on some stuff. So yeah, you're right.
within your own dialogue, in your own head, or be defined by traumas that have happened to you. But it is kind of interesting also watching yourself on video and that uncomfortableness. She seems to be a
I'm more used to it now, but like when I first started editing my videos, I was like, oh gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But then I would just like sit back down and then I remember how much fun I have like recording the videos, and then I'd be like, okay, yeah, no, I'm excited, let's go. And then I guess that's kind of why I say it all the time.
little bit quizzical about her seeing herself on TV, and I would
yeah.
love to know what she's thinking through her head
It's
as
so
she does
funny.
it. We can
She's
often
just
be
like,
judgmental or critical when we see ourselves on tape or on video. It can be a really difficult experience. Also, putting yourself out there to be able to be judged. No,
Yep.
I get that.
I haven't had a drink
Oh,
since
yeah.
Friday.
You
Can I ask you
totally have no idea anything about that.
5150.
Hi, Clark.
A few times over the years,
Yep.
when it was necessary.
What makes it necessary?
If I believe that the person is a danger to themselves or others.
That is having someone admitted to a psych ward. And that would be if
Yep.
they are in imminent danger to hurt themselves or someone else.
Someone else.
It is an exceptionally rare situation, and you would let them know that you have to call to keep someone safe. You need to reach out, or you think that someone is in imminent danger. That doesn't mean that I'm thinking of suicide ideation or that it might happen in the future. It would be very, very soon. And each psychological order
it's
has
like
a different
you're
defining
as soon as
term
you
to
leave.
what that means.
I found something.
Yeah, so basically it's so like what it basically is like I fear if you leave here, you are going to immediately go and commit like some kind of like act. Okay, fair enough.
Store.
Okay. What did you find?
Okay. What we find? What happened?
Place. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just trying to understand.
You know, for a shrink, you got a terrible poker face.
And I think that it's really important for the therapeutic client analysis to be really honest with what you're thinking and how you feel. I wouldn't feel comfortable or respected if someone thought one thing, like I might be dealing with psychosis, and didn't state that. And I would just say
Yeah,
we need
I
to
agree.
take a look at it. Could this be possibly a psychotic episode? But again, you need to be in a very trusted state to be able to share that. If you share it before you have this sense of
And Clark doesn't trust anyone. Clark trusts no one.
trust with someone else, then they may bolt out of the therapy and you can't help someone at all. It's really difficult when you're dealing with something that might be very heavy and you're scared of it yourself to be confronted with it.
Clark,
No.
if this is true,
I get it. Thank you. And you're gonna owe me a serious apology.
Ooh.
You shouldn't be doing that. Just danger to yourself, but also your job is to help them therapeutically, but not to caretake them. It would be outside the realms of the therapeutic setting to be able to actually go. Sometimes we will go out into different settings if we're doing an exposure therapy, dealing with
it's
a
during
specific
therapy time.
situation, or if they're in the hospital and something serious has happened, then your therapist may be visiting or being able to see you. But
That's
that
fair.
is still within the realms of a therapeutic session. So no, she shouldn't be
This is
trying
not.
to look into and being a detective. Her job is not detective. It is to be able to help the person see the world through their eyes and be able to help them live more adaptively.
Yep. And we all, well, everyone who's seen the movie knows what happens to her, so. Oh, God, it scares me every time. Jiminy.
I never, ever said you could go outside. It's no good. They're all over the place.
I still firmly believe that she knew about the complex in some way, shape, or form. She's aware of it. She knows. And the thing is, and so she hopes that by staying inside, that they'll be able to avoid them because she knows that there's none here in her home. But she doesn't know where they could be outside. Yeah, sure, one could open in her house, technically, but she knows there isn't one here. She just doesn't know where they are outside. I firmly believe she's aware of the Backrooms in some way, shape, or form.
And It makes me feel so sad. There are so many people that are dealing with different types of mental illness, and we often talk about them themselves, but not what happens to the children that had to go through that. They end up also trapped. And what happens to that when you've lived with a parent that
cats
isn't
are
well,
going
that's
crazy.
controlled you, that's taught you that the world is unsafe? It can change your entire mind frame. And so for Mary, she ended up trying to gain control by
And you have to
understanding,
unlearn all that.
learning that, and being able to help others even though she couldn't help her mom. And that's really common. We try to gain control and learn the things from the things that hurt us so that would never
And our
happen
failures.
to us again, or at least that is the hope. The mom seems to be dealing with type of a
I'll give you 1 second. I also firmly believe that Mary strives so hard to help Clark because she failed her mom, and she's just so afraid of failing someone so fundamentally again, and that's why she makes the decision she makes. I can still be like, why did you do this? But that is, I feel like, the reason she made that decision. She's
agoraphobia.
traumatized.
Now, sometimes agoraphobia is just the fear of great, wide open spaces, being alone, being in an expansive area, large areas. But for the mom, it seems to be added with a paranoia, those people are going to get you, and an obsessive set of traits. We would have to actually interview her, be able to go through all the different diagnostic, but that seems to be the things that we're getting to see right away. These are very controlling behaviors, and as a child, you are imprinting what is scary and what is dangerous, and you're taught that by your parental role models. And so whatever they say is dangerous becomes imprinted upon you as being dangerous. And that can be really difficult to be able to grow out of, so you don't end up repeating those kind of behaviors or the exact inverse of that.
Yep. Yeah, if you want to fix behaviors, you just gotta buckle down and do it. I've done some stupid stuff, but trust me, you can get better.
I think that handprint on the table, which from its size seems to be her handprint, not her mother's handprint, which I think is really important psychologically. We sometimes carry actual mementos, and the mementos themselves don't really matter. It's the thoughts and the memories that we've put into them. And if we're doing the psychology of that, we may go through that Jungian or Freudian kind of
Well, I
inner
don't know.
child.
It's kind of a decent size. I feel like if she... Oh, no, wait. There's the bottom of the palm. Yeah. Yeah, there's the bottom of the palm. Okay, I see now. Yeah. I thought that wasn't the end, but yeah, there's the bottom of the palm there. So, okay. Yeah, no, it is hers.
The
Hers,
thoughts
Mary's.
and the memories that we've put into them. And if we're doing the psychology
why are
of
we
that, we may
fighting?
go through that
Do you need some therapy? You need some therapy, boys? Huh? You need some therapy? Don't you stare at me like that. You know what you're doing. Hi. Get the book.
Jungian or Freudian kind of inner child work to be able to recognize and hear what their wants and needs are. There are pieces that we carry with us, similar to what Mary is doing, from the hurts and pains that we had from our childhood. And we want to be able to actually recognize and understand that, to be able to let them know that we hear those pains so we don't end up enacting the same old maladaptive behaviors, and also so that we can start to heal. Being able to hear that voice of what happened and how she felt, and be able to reparent yourself now for the parenting that you maybe did not get, that vitamin and care and affirmation and unconditional love that we may not have gotten in our childhood. To do that for ourselves now can be really healing to today, and start to restitch.
Not just can be, is very healing to the today. Yeah, no. It is. Good advice.
Those wounds. And in a lot of ways, this is symbolic to those rocks that we carry in our backpack. They're often all of our hurts and wounds from our childhood. I think that Dr. Mary uses this in a different way, though. Not just as a weight that holds us down, but to be able to remember, to recognize, and be able to enact change, to be able to listen to that inner child and to let her know that she's not going to be abandoned or forgotten.
Yep. Oof. Oh gosh, the stairs, terrifying. And then the cuts. Oh, the cuts.
See Mary have to watch her mom be taken away and that feeling of being alone. One of the main themes of the movie is that for Mary, she is doing everything that she can. Her entire world has been in not being trapped. That the Backrooms, in a lot of ways, is similar to her own childhood. That childhood of being stuck in this distorted reality of how her mom saw the world. And she has done everything in her power to make sure that she is not going to have to stay there. The Backrooms is not a safe place. And I think that that's juxtaposition to how Clark feels.
Oh,
That
Clark
for
loves
Clark,
it.
The Backrooms is the opposite. It's the place that he escapes to, where he can't hurt anyone. And so in a lot of ways, our distorted way that we see the world, and we all see the world, we try to see it as clear of a view as
possible. Like, you have a bias. No matter what you do, you have a bias. So you need to, like, that's why I said you need to, like, look at a situation and be like, okay, am I being biased or am I being accurate?
possible, because the more clearly that we can see the world, the better we can enact change and be accurate and effective in how we deal with the world. And I think that that's a lot of what therapy is trying to do, to teach you to do things better and to be able to see the world from more facets than we might do on our own.
Same solution.
Again. Yep. Brother.
Barbara, I was checking inventory. Then I stopped off for a few beers.
Define a few.
As many as I wanted, because this is my house. I pay for it.
Him putting the scalp of his wife wasn't just because he wants to do a more accurate role play. That is
Brother, I love how
necessary.
she just straight up calls
I
him
think
out.
that in a lot of ways, it was to change the power dynamic, to show how much control he had, to have that want to be able to keep people from having to abandon, to run away. And that's why she's tied down and forced to play a role against her will. She ends up feeling what he felt of being demeaned, of having to do something when they didn't really feel comfortable or want to. And for a lot of people, that can cause unresolved resentment. And I think that he's projecting a lot of that feelings that he has towards his wife onto Dr.
But also the frustrations. But it was also the frustrations he had, like, with, like, the therapy session thing. Like, he probably, like, replayed it over and over and over again in his head, and it became more and more distorted. That kind of sounds like the whole theme of the complex. Interesting. Anyways. I'm not your wife!
I've never even met her!
And I fully get Dr. Mary Klein being really angry. She has full rights to be angry.
I don't blame her.
And being able to act out. And for a lot of her psychology, she was forced to have to be quiet and endure situations that were outside of her control. And so
this
she has that want to fight back. A lot of people that have been bullied or felt controlled all through their life have this want to never let that happen again, and that's what runs through their own mind. And she's put herself in a position where her job is in a place of control and being able to help others that she couldn't help herself. And so being flipped into this dynamic of being stuck in a room similar to the room that she grew up in is the antithesis of what she hopes for. And so instead of just enduring that, she has her fight, her aggression reaction, which is actually really healthy. Anger is not a bad emotion. It's how we apply it that would make it bad or good. And I wouldn't say even bad or good, I would say effective or ineffective.
What did you say?
Yes.
You want to know the real reason your wife left you? It was the whining. Nothing's ever your fault, is it? Blame your job. Blame the world. Blame your wife. You attacked
Oh my god, sorry I'm interrupting your crash out, but go off, Queen.
me and tie me up. Blame your brain. You are your brain, you dipshit.
That is something that she's saying that is very, very accurate, that he has a difficulty in accepting responsibility. And
she says it in the funniest way possible.
why is that the case? Now, again, this is not a therapeutic setting. You cannot give accurate therapy while you are tied up and being traumatized. So does that mean that
she's
because
being
Dr. Mary Klein has all of
traumatized,
this
brother.
understanding of the things that Clark is doing wrong, it was wrong of her not to share it right away. Unfortunately, everything has a pace that you have to go to. You can't drag your client over the finish line. There are certain things.
Yeah, no, like she was trying to go at a pace that he was comfortable with, and every time she tried to press forward to get him closer and closer to the realization, he just continuously pushed back. And then like he goes and does this and he tries to like because he continuously like drug his fucking feet in his therapy sessions. I'm not gonna bleep it. I'm so sorry, Miss Georgia. But like because he drug his feet in his therapy sessions, yeah, of course you weren't there. You were dragging your feet. You weren't willing to put in the work. You were going to therapy, but you were just going there to just try to think because you thought that the therapist was going to validate you. And when you had a therapist that wasn't going to validate your bull crap, then you got mad. Like you do with everything.
Things that they are ready to learn, but also to apply and to be able to change. So you need to be able to have that alliance first, you need to have that understanding, and you need to make sure that they're comfortable and that they're learning the next piece to the puzzle. You can't run before you can walk. And so the pacing to that is really important, and a well-paced set of sessions where you're not in a panic zone and you're not in this comfortable, always happy mode. You want to be in that growth zone where things are a little bit uncomfortable, but still manageable so that your clients are not flooded. So just because she knew these things, it was not wrong of her not to share it right away. It would depend on their alliance and where Clark was at. And yes, we are a brain, but just like the Backrooms, we're a distorted reflection of that. Yes, but that doesn't mean that understanding more of that won't give us more power in how we deal with it. I think that what Dr. Mary Klein is actually saying in this statement is that Clark's using that as an excuse. That, oh, well, this is just the way that I'm wired, so I can't change things. And that's kind of a defeatist attitude, which...
It's a cop-out. It's such a cop-out. It's such failure behavior. You're giving up. You're giving up. It's failure behavior. Don't do that. Like, it is fixable. Like, it's harder depending on like what you've gone through and how old you are and stuff like that and what type of trauma, but like, yeah, it's harder, but it's possible. You can do it.
Doesn't allow you or gives you this excuse to not accept responsibility for the things that you did. Oh, well, these things have happened to me. This is just who I am. And so because of that, I can just give up on myself. And that's not what she is
I can be a danger to others, or I can be mean to other people because XYZ happened to me. No, No, Yang said it best. You know, boo-hoo, what? Something bad happened to you once upon a time, so now you get to be horrible to other people? No, not how that works.
To teach.
You say it is my fault.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's just the way you're wired, isn't it? Isn't it?
How do I stop doing that?
Honestly, I have no idea.
She does actually know, and she doesn't owe this. She's been tied up, and her reaction is a fair reaction of anger, and he isn't owed any.
Well, yeah, no, I think it's more like she does know and understand how to get out of it. But the thing is, she is applying this directly to a man who choked her out, kidnapped her, tied her up, put a scalp on her head. So she's like, I know how, but I have no clue how you can do it. I think that she's more directing it directly at him, specifically at him. She does know. She just doesn't know how he's gonna do it because he fights. He has clearly fought at every turn, every time that she's seen him. I can guarantee.
Of the truth. Being able to look and judge when you are not in that situation is not a fair assessment at all, but that was my thought to it of this goes against her entire philosophy and the things that she believes. She does actually know.
That's how you can tell.
In this case, she's just angry and he doesn't deserve.
That's what I said. I did not pre-watch it. That's what I said.
She just wants to end this. But I think that that actually decreases her chances of survivability. And I do find it sad for Clark that was hoping for hope. And I think that extinguishing that is just sad. Again, he's choked her, tied her up, done things that have scared and terrorized her on purpose and stuck a scalp onto her head. And so this is completely fair that he's owed none of that.
It's just
That's
not
what
up to
I
me.
said.
I can't save anyone.
And I think that that's accurate. You can't save other people. You can only light the way and hopefully they will save themselves. And I think that that's what she does for herself as well. And it seems like this is an epiphany of wanting to rescue everyone else. And perhaps that's what she went into therapy in hopes to do. And that realization that it's also up to the other person to be able to walk.
She's self-therapizing in the moment in the movie. She's like, oh, this is why I did all of this. And I can't. I think she's also realizing that some people are like way beyond hope.
Walk those steps can be really difficult, especially when you are naturally a caretaker.
And she clearly is. Ugh! Hi, Pirate Clark.
And I think that it's really beautiful in a poignant, dark way that she protects herself with an imprint from her childhood. And so she uses it for her own safety, protection, instead of just using it as a place that she's going to escape to or an excuse. I think that that really does symbolize that you can learn from the things that have hurt
She used something from her past to ensure her future.
you, and they can make you stronger instead of using your trauma and the things that have happened to your past as an excuse as why you can't change. Now again, change is really, really hard, but I think that there's
also the pain of the change must be less than the pain of staying the same. That's another big thing. Yep. If they're not like uncomfortable enough in the situation that they're in, like even if they are uncomfortable, if you get to a certain point, it's too much to remain that way, and you will change one way or another. Or you won't. Just double, triple, quadruple down forever and be Clark.
a certain beauty in that moment. That's the big difference between Clark feeling safety in the back rooms and the place that he wants to escape to and giving into his inner demons, inner pirate, versus Dr. Mary Klein, who uses her childhood trauma as a strength and a force to keep her safe. And so you can let me know your thoughts. Is this facsimile of Dr. Mary Klein her actually in the back rooms, or is this just a copy of her that was left behind?
I think it's a copy, but I also think it's like a mimic of like the exact moment. Like the Backrooms seems to really like to like play on like traumatizing moments. I mean, like it copies like a lot of random stuff, but like it really does seem like it really likes to lean into things that are like that have a lot of like heavy energy around them. And I wonder why. That is a like interesting thing. I wonder if Kane, like I'm sure Kane will make more like stuff for his like universe and world and everything, because you know, that's just there's no way he's not going to. There's still so much going on like with his lore that it's like there's no way this doesn't continue. I cannot wait to see where he goes with this.
An imprint of who she is. And I think that that is,
I think it's an imprint of the trauma in the moment that she felt at the end of the movie.
Movie actually symbolizes is that our entire internal world is a world that we've created, but it isn't accurate. And the way that you apply it, the way that you use it, is going to determine whether you're effective in dealing with your own inner pirate Clarks or not. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to support my channel, it would be lovely if you would hit that subscribe button or even
I
become
do subscribe.
a member. So thank you to everyone that does.
I will like 100%. Yes. Ah, it's so good. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for a video every day at noon.